Hi folks, this is all the fruit. For months I've been hunting for the elusive gummy worm tree, Cecropia, which is quite strange because it seems to be one of the most invasive species in the world. Not being able to find one of the most invasive species in the world is a little bit strange. It's not only one of the most invasive species in the world, it's one of the most interesting species, symbiosis wise, and also seems to be one of the tastiest. Gummy worm, it's named after some candy which seems to be quite popular in parts of the Anglo-Saxon world. A year ago I didn't know, well, I knew that Cecropia existed, but I didn't know that it has edible gummy worms. Clusters of edible 20-centimeter long, soft, juicy, sweet fruits. I saw it a lot here around Singapore, on the southernmost tip of Asia, but I only once saw fruits on it, and that was from a bus. And then for weeks in Malaysia I confused a different tree with it, a tree with with a lot less lobed leaves. So in a lot of my foraging videos I'm talking about gummy worm trees, and it's not the gummy worm tree, but this is the gummy worm tree. The funny thing is, when you read about this tree, you will either find mentioning of its timber or mentioning of its medicinal value, or mentioning of its crazy symbiosis with ants, which for some reason happens only in parts of its natural range. Basically it feeds ants and shelters them, and they fight everything that's touching the tree. I don't think they have the symbiosis here in Asia, it's only in parts of the Caribbean. Or you find mentioning of its invasive nature, or you find mentioning of the gummy worm fruit. Very strange. I haven't found a single website that mentions all of those, or at least 3 of those. One or only 2 of those aspects are being discussed. So I think the people who fight this as an invasive tree, the people who admire it as an ant symbiosis tree, and the people who chase the tasty gummy worms, they don't communicate too much. Well, I'm not too familiar with it, and also I don't have internet here. There seem to be, in the middle of this tip of the branch, there seems to be a big bud which produces the leaves. Then there seem to be 2 buds on a stalk. What do they produce? The male flowers maybe? And then those hydra-like things, they look like the female inflorescences, but I guess usually not so many of those things survive. So I'm not even sure if those are the female or male inflorescences, because on the branch back there, one of those inflorescences is dying, and on that branch there is a dead one hanging. So are those the male or the female inflorescences? They look a lot like the female inflorescences, but female inflorescences usually persist and don't die off. No fruits to try here, even if there were fruits on this. I don't know how I could get them. I'm standing here on a platform which is about 6 meters high. So this thin tree is also about 6 meters high. Even if there were fruits on those branches, no chance to get them. But I wanted to make a video, folks. I will do a second part if I manage to find this thing fruiting, and if I manage to harvest the fruits, which are supposed to be very tasty and big and really worth foraging.